these bilaterals which have been ongoing, which we'll get more to later. But Max Rosley kindly gave us a half hour of his time this morning to do an interview, which we've also released. It's also been in the comments to this video.
It's just been released about 10 minutes ago.
It's just been released.
So go and have a look at it.
Guys, this stuff is hot off the press, really it is. And then on top of that, we've just released the case study, the GBV, GOSA'S Girls on Fire, gender-based violence case study, which is, which
was a very hard video.
We produced ourselves in-house, and it was a very hard video for you and for even Hannes, the cameraman. I guess if it's not a hard video to do, then it speaks to your to how numb you've become. But it was a difficult video for everybody to make, I think.
That came out this morning, or just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
There's quite a couple of very nice stuff, but I'll speak about the Scrappy song when we finish talking about the serious stuff.
Okay, yeah. So down to business. Please watch the videos. We'll append sections of the videos into this video, but go and look for the full videos. As I say, Max Rosley did half an hour for us on feedback from the bilaterals. But let's get to those in order. In the first place, and most important to us at the moment in terms of court feedback, our license declarator, which is going to come before court in the first week of June. Yeah. So in the week starting on the Sunday, the 5th of June, on the 6th, the court will allocate, or the registrar of the court will allocate us a court and a time. We believe it's going to be on either the 8th or the 9th, probably the 8th. So either the Wednesday or the Thursday. So yeah, that's important. That's, again, as we've said before, that's to tell us what a license actually is, because everyone talks about a license, but nobody knows what it actually looks like. So what is a license? Is it the computer record or is it the card? And a lot hinges on those. Then we also have, we're also going after our PAIA request. But that feeds into something else which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So the process, interesting things happen. So if you guys recall, last year when the amendment bill was released by the Civilian Secretary, we lodged a PAIA request, a Promotion of Access to Information Act request, wanting to know all of the details behind the bill. Why? Why do we need a new bill? Who decided on what goes into the new bill? Who was consulted? We, the stakeholders, were supposed to have been consulted before they created a bill, damn it, according to the constitutional prescripts. So we lodged the PAIA request. The moment we sent the PAIA request through, well, a little bit shortly thereafter, the Civilian Secretary convened a webinar. We insisted on our PAIA request, that our PAIA request must precede this, and the Civilian Secretary cancelled the webinar. We then asked what the hell's happening with our PAIA request. The Civilian Secretary then came back to us and said to us, but we cancelled the webinar. We said to him, the one thing's got nothing to do with the other. The webinar stands on its own. We want to know, this is the information we need to know in order to make sure that our rights are exercised in terms of the bill. We need to know this information. Who wrote the bill? Where did it come from? Because it certainly doesn't appear to have come out of the research.
I'm sorry, Uchi is hoovering up all of the leaves. Coverage. Sorry.
Anyway, so you can perhaps hear a
hoovering sound.
Drinking sounds and eating sounds. That's the Rottweiler. So anyway, so we asked again, what's happened to our PAIA request? Then the Civilian Secretary of Police in January announced a series of bilaterals.
Which we've been talking about a lot.
Which we've been talking about a lot. We rejected the bilaterals because we said, why do you want to sit together in a smoke-filled room and talk about stuff? and impose that on the rest of the community. Anyway, so we asked where our PAIA request was. The CSP then met with a plethora of other parties, one of whom was SAPSA, the South African Practical Shooting Association,
SAPSA, yeah.
Represented by Max Rosley, and that's what that feedback is for. I don't know when you want to slot that in. Hannes, when do you want to slot that in?
I don't think he's.
Or have you got a short outtake from that?
Just a second. No, it's not playing.
Not playing.
Okay. So just go and look at it.
We'll play it later, or you can watch the full one later. Okay, this is what happens on live TV, guys. Sorry, this is low budget stuff. Okay, so then after we asked, okay, so where's our bilateral? Before we take part in any bilaterals or anything, where's our PAIA request? So we keep the theme of asking for our PAIA information keeps going, and the only person who's more consistent than us with our PAIA requests is the secretary in ignoring them. When you ignore something, what are you doing? You're trying to hide something. Guys, we're not going to let you hide it. It's going to come out into the light of day, sooner or later.
There's something, obviously, Max and myself also spoke about it today.
Yeah.
Why are they not wanting to release that information? The more we ask, the more they basically try and avoid it. So something is happening
Lynette,
there.
we know who ran the development process for this bill.
And she shouldn't have.
We know that Advocate Shandu, the chair of the Firearm Appeals Board, was in charge of the process of drafting this.
Well, we're waiting for the answers, aren't we?
Well, we want the police to admit this to us. We want the Civilian Secretary of Police to admit this to us, because this is impeachable information.
Yeah.
She cannot. She's the referee. She's supposed to be impartial. There is no way on earth that in a constitutional democracy she can both create the bill and then decide on arbitrate on it.
Yeah, no,
she can't do it. It just can't happen. Advocate Shandu deserves to be fired. We've said this before in regard to her incompetence. She wouldn't know a law book if one hit her in the face, but she's an advocate. Anyway, so again we asked, where's our PAIA request? The Civilian Secretary then came back to us and said to us, before we litigate about this, maybe we should have a face-to-face meeting. So we said to him, sure, we're not prepared to take part in the bilaterals, but we will, but a face-to-face meeting, we'll come and explain to you why we need the PAIA request. So promptly we do that. So we agree to that. Promptly we agree to that. And then the Civilian Secretary comes back to us and says to us, oh great, you're going to take part in the bilaterals, we'll invite you along with some other parties. No, dude, you misunderstand the thing completely. We have a very specific concern with the underlying reasons for the bill. We're not going to discuss that along with other parties that want to talk about sport shooting, even though that's very important. We have a much bigger picture than sport shooting. We represent, we've got 104,000 members. We're larger than all of the other associations put together. We have a much broader scope. We represent the guy on the street, the guy with a little 38 special in a shoebox under his bed at night. Those are our members.
And
those are the people we have to look after.
And to the other side, to sport shooters.
And the sport shooters, but we have so much of a broader scope. Anyway, so we're not going to sit in a meeting while sports shooters talk about why they should keep their sporting firearms. We need to attack the bill at its root. We need to attack the heart of the bill. We need to get to why are we talking about this?
Where did the bill come from?
Why are we talking about this when the only proper research that was conducted was the Wits School of Governance report, and the Wits School of Governance report comes out quite clearly in the conclusions and says, we don't need another bill. We don't need changes to the legislation. We need the police to start policing.
Yeah, that's what.
So we want to know why this bill. Where did this damn thing come from?
And who was involved?
It keeps coming back to life. It's the zombie bill. It keeps rising out of the grave and threatening us. We need to get this thing nailed down, and we will get it nailed down. Anyway, so on that basis, we then said to the secretary, I said to the secretary yesterday morning, I said to him, sorry, but then we're pulling out. You won't see us at the meeting. Unless we can discuss this in its own forum. Oh, he says to me, last night, after we'd actually left the office, I get a message, check your email. Civilian secretary came back and said, okay, we've got our own meeting. We're on the 7th. On the 7th of June, so we have a busy week in the first week of June as well. In court on the Monday to get our courtroom allocated for the license declarator. At the secretary in Pretoria with a full delegation on the 7th, and then on the 8th or the 9th back in court to actually
and
run
the
the
Goes on
declarator.
Fire is going, the first tranche of Goes on Fire going to the armourers course at Bernard Agency.
Yeah,
So
everything's
going to be one of those
everything's
weeks.
hectic. So anyway, so they came back to us and they said to us, great, yeah, you got your own meeting, come and talk to us. We'll have the drafting team there, and they can question you on the background to why you feel the bill is completely unnecessary. We're not going to get drawn into, so this is the problem with the bilaterals. Much as I understand the associations and why they all want to ventilate their particular feelings about section so-and-so and reloading this and sport shooting firearms that and section 13 this, our scope is far broader. Much as I understand that, and I understand that they want to come and have a say, we have to address the heart of the bill. We have to kill this thing with a wooden stake through its heart. And that is attacking its basis, its foundation. Why? Why are we talking about this?
Max and ourselves talked about it this morning. This is just a rubber stamp for trying to push this bill through as is. As I said, go and listen to the discussion. It was a very interesting discussion.
Agree 100%. So, okay, guys, the other thing is I heard my phone go ding, and we're supposed to be taking questions, so maybe that's it. Let me just check that quickly. No, not that. Okay, so one of the interesting things is reading through this judgment from the Constitutional Court. And
maybe you haven't given the exact background.
It's a critically important matter. So Fidelity Security Services, one of the largest security companies in the country, big cash in transit guys. They had their a whole bunch of firearms through. Well, their responsible person was sick and retired, and the new responsible person came in and discovered that 700 or more firearms had licenses had lapsed. And they went to the police and they said to the police, listen, these licenses have lapsed. Can we renew? In terms of the Act, we should be able to. At that stage, the state was busy. They were busy trying to overturn our judgment that we had, and they were convinced that you can't renew. Once a license is dead, it's dead. But they never offered the people another option. They just said, bring the guns in for destruction, surrender them for destruction. Sorry, the Rottweiler is swimming. Okay, so this judgment was about that. The Fidelity Security Services took this to court. They went to the Supreme Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Appeal found, yes, you can apply for a new license even if your current license is expired. The question just seems to turn on where the gun should be.
And how it's going to happen.
The police immediately decided to take it to the Constitutional Court, because we're right, damn it. They ended up in the Constitutional Court in November last year, and we were amicus in that matter. The Constitutional Court delivered its judgment this morning. It's a 33-page judgment. We've read the judgment. We seem to have managed to extract the important pieces out of it. But as we're going through it, we're discovering all sorts of little surprises, which aren't immediately apparent. And one of those surprises is one of our members. We posted this on our Facebook group, and one of our members went through it and picked this out. And Cal Lewin, thank you very much. You're entirely correct. And I'm going to read it to you just as a matter of interest. The judgment states, this is the words of the judge, which is Majid Justice Majid. The Act itself, as we have said, contains no express provision requiring the owner of a firearm to surrender it to the police once the possession license has expired. Now that's interesting because it's always been assumed that once your license expires, your only option, your only recourse is to surrender it to the police. However, that's not what the Act says, what the judgment says. And the judgment is quoting the Act. So the judges are wanting to say, hang on a second, you don't have to give it to the police. So there's room there for clarification. There's room there for saying, okay, but if we don't have to give it to the police, can we hand it to a licensed dealer? Can we hand it to someone for storage, for safe storage? Can we apply for storage for our own firearm? Can we apply for a Section 21 temporary permit to possess?
Can they fix the system that they can actually just apply for renewal like it should be?
Anyway, so there's certainly room for argument there, which is very exciting. We have a question here, just come in from Mike, who says, does the Constitutional Court ruling mean that people who handed in their firearms for destruction
That's a difficult
can
one.
now claim compensation?
Oops.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so
What did they
yeah.
find? It depends
the
on
problem is everyone that handed their firearms in during the amnesty,
should have never been used.
and which should never have been the remedy that was suggested. Everybody that handed their firearms in had to sign a forfeiture form, forfeiting your property to the state. Once you've voluntarily forfeited your property, there's no compensation payable.
Yeah.
If that took place, I don't know. Hey, let's see what the lawyers say about that. We'll get back to you on that, Mike. Thanks very much for the question. These are the kind of things that are going to come out of the woodwork now. A lot of these things are going to be coming out of the woodwork. So yeah, we're in interesting times at the moment.
Absolutely.
And we've got a very, very busy couple of weeks ahead of us, preparing for the court case. We may also be, in fact, we probably are going to be asking for a mandamus for the court to declare that the police must meet our PAIA request, even though we are meeting with the civil secretary, where we need that information, and we don't think the civil secretary is going to give it to us.
They don't want to give it to us.
They don't want to give it to us because we know what they're hiding. They're hiding. We know that they're hiding. Advocate Shandu from public scrutiny.
I think it's more than that, Paul. My
yes,
feeling
it's more than that. They're also hiding the fact that although we struggled for years and years and years to get the Wits School of Governance report in our hands, Gun-Free South Africa seems to have had it right from the beginning. We also know that Gun-Free South Africa had input into the drafting of this bill.
Yeah.
And it's now been denied by the civilian secretary. No. Nobody outside of the civil secretary's office was involved in the drafting. So they try to hide these people behind their skirts.
The PAIA request is basically saying who, when, how, what dates.
We want to know. We want the civil secretary as a public body. They are paid by us. They're civil servants. We want them to lift up their skirts and show us who's hiding under there.
Yeah.
So we will not stop at anything less than that. So guys, please give us a hand. The importance of this cannot be overstressed. What's coming out of the meetings with these bilateral meetings is that the police are absolutely steadfast and convinced of their case. They are coming for our guns.
They definitely, if you listen to what, apparently there was a lot of very worried people after this last meeting. I think it was on the 22nd or 24th, 22nd or 24th.
Whatever, yeah.
One of those dates that...
23rd.
When they made...
It's Tuesday.
The discussions were that they actually haven't really looked at any of the submissions.
No, apparently, so the whole drafting panel that sits in these bilaterals.
They were surprised by certain things.
And they were shocked to hear that people would think that this is extreme. But, they're only guns. I mean, why this big fuss about it?
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you don't understand that, I'm not sure we can explain this to you.
As I said, was a very interesting discussion with Max.
Please go and watch it, guys. It's in the links to this, in the comments of this video. The links are right there. The links are on the GOSA Facebook group, where they were put on by myself personally a couple of half an hour or so ago.
And you also
please go and look them up, and please go and look at my previous comments. I go through the sections which we've managed to raise out now, about three of the paragraphs of the bill that are particularly relevant. What's nice is that we congratulated Martin immediately because he was the instructing attorney for the Council for Fidelity. And I see Martin's just posted a very nice thank you to us on his Facebook group, because with the assistance we offered as amicus, because we're actually specifically quoted in a couple of sections.
We're together in this fight. It's and that's what Max and myself said.
It's our fight. It's a big
everybody.
fight.
It's not
if we can stop sniping at each other for half a minute, we can actually win this damn thing.
And we'll have to stand together, because this fight is not over.
Should we start singing? We all stand together.
Something like that, yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, guys.
So I just want to actually, just one last thing. I got, at last, a young lady of 9 years old that's going to do the Scrappy song for us. We're going to get some preschoolers, so hopefully within the next month we'll actually have the Scrappy song out at last.
Fantastic.
So yeah, on a
just,
positive note.
guys, it's just one of the varied things that we're trying to do to raise the profile of the shooting community, the good profile of the shooting community. The kids program, the ladies program, the gender-based violence, the anti-gender-based violence, thank God. We're trying all of these. We've got to, something's going to stick. If we try all of these things, we're going to be successful on one or two of them.
Absolutely.
And we have to. This has to be an all-out effort.
Absolutely. Okay. Great.
Thanks
very
guys.
much. Cheers.
Have a great weekend.
Scrappy, the Land Rover, has lots of friends. Come play with us, the fun never ends. We're gun buddies, we learn gun safety. It's fun and easy, just like 1, 2, 3. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. Someone has a gun they keep in their room. Don't touch it or it will go boom. Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. A friend invites you to come and play. He tells you to touch a gun. No, that's not okay. Scrappy knows what's best, so listen girls and boys. Guns are not bad, but guns are not toys. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away. If you see a gun, you shouldn't be afraid. You're a gun buddy and you'll be okay. So gun buddies, what does Scrappy say? Stop, don't touch, call a parent, walk away.